Libra, hello and welcome to your weekly message for the week of November 3rd through to the 10th. Let's get started with the Sacred Symbols card. So, Scorpio season, the veil is thin. This is our second house. Who has been feeling growth? We have Black Moon Lilith this week from the 3rd, starting at 14 degrees in our sign in the South Node at 4 degrees. There are a lot of fours, and we're figuring out where we belong, where to direct our partnerships, how our partnerships can benefit from us being authentic, but also that authenticity stemming from the heart, not the ego, not who we believe we've been just because someone had an opinion of us or a perception of us based on a momentary exchange. I met with this man, Omaran, who, if you guys are in Shasta, Libra, lucky us, go check out his pyramid. He and his wife Antara built it together, and it was ordered by Isis, the goddess, and Metatron. So it's something that I've been working with etherically every night, and it feels like he spoke to a lot of things. He was able to give so much of his wisdom to my husband and I, but he spoke to the heart coherence. Gosh, what was it? It'll come back. We have transmute. I was seeing the serpent. So all of these fours, you see there are two more fours, just letting us know that there are energies that can be dissolved at this time. Energies of expectations from others, opinions maybe that we've had of others, long-standing resentments can be transmuted. There's a lot of grace. That's what Omaran spoke to. We have the King of Earth. Maybe this is with your beloved if you're a feminine energy, who is a masculine energy, or maybe if you're this masculine energy, regardless of your gender, you want to see where Mars is, essentially. Like, I have a very big masculine energy because I have Mars in my sign, in the same sign as my sun, actually. So there are masculine ways that we behave. So when we hold space to create something, non-judgmental space to create something. If it's judgmental space, it's a toxic masculine. But if we're able to hold that free space for us to radically express our creativity, our voice communication, while knowing where the boundary is between the mind and the heart and reassigning everything to the heart. Sandra Walter is amazing. If you guys want to jump deeper into this, you got Omaran, you got Sandra Walter. There will be more that I share. And yeah, we have the Five of Water. So we're transmuting something that feels like maybe we were meant to feel like we had an emotional achievement. We wanted to feel that way, but it didn't. And now this Eight of Water is indicating that by the end of the week, we're going to move on to something more emotionally fulfilling. We got one more card, the Four of Fire. It could be within our marriage. We are the sign of partnership, and maybe there has been some setbacks, disappointments, delays, miscommunication, misunderstanding in our closest partnerships. Maybe if it's not a marriage, you are looking to attain that. And maybe some of us have felt a little bit disappointed with the dating game. Some people are on dating apps, some people are still doing blind dates, I'm sure. And it's time for us to really understand what we're looking for, what we're projecting maybe onto our partnerships, and then what is really the truth, where we belong, transmuting outdated expectations, or where we belong, transmuting outdated ways of relating. Ma'at, the truth. Oh, the truth is coming to help us. And that 31 does net to a 4. So the 3 and the 1 are what we value, what we believe, and where we belong. So let's see what she's got to say. The empowerment message. There is great power in telling the truth and allowing it to lead you to higher ground. It's only when we refuse to see the reality of a situation that we lose our power to co-create for the highest good. The Egyptian goddess Ma'at comes to remind you that if you are willing to do a fearless self-inventory and live authentically with rigorous honesty, it will lead you to great success in all areas of your life. Being completely transparent with others, although it might at first feel too vulnerable, is exactly what you need to do now. When you do this, you will be flooded with the power to claim and experience a new freedom and a new happiness that will pour over your life like a wild sweet honey. Your life is exactly where it needs to be. Okay, Libra, don't doubt it for a second. This is a wonderful time of empowered choice making. You are doing all of the right things if you follow the invitation of Ma'at to live fearlessly in truth. As the arbiter of balance and divine order, she reminds you of the great value of this way of being. And the alignment message as the other part to this card. The law of karma states that everything comes into balance sooner or later. Perfect for us Libras, right? Represented by the scales. So trust that in the greater story of your life, all wrongs will get righted. The goddess Ma'at appears with her scales of justice to remind you that you are seeing only one moment in time. The balance of events tips both ways until it comes into coherence with the harmony of the universe. Regardless of this natural rebalancing, it's time to speak up if you see injustice in your world. So this is what Omeran was speaking to, is like you go to ascend to the next level of your natural evolution, and then you start from, you know, that 0 point, that Scorpio degree of 0, that boundary, and learning to exercise boundaries in a way that does calibrate your throat, allows for you to speak from a place of your heart and rather than your mind. And then moment to moment, this came through an Aries reading, rather than affirming something, this is driving me insane, this is making me so angry, you can affirm yourself and powerfully shift your energy by saying, this is driving me into my heart. I'm so grateful that my heart is in control. And these kinds of repetitive theme statements won't take long before it's muscle memory, and you are shifting out of a stuck place, a fixed place where, you know, Murphy's Law, everything that could go wrong ends up going wrong because you're not on the right side of your heart. You're up here in the brain, or you're in fight or flight. So we want to be in this green, pink area of ourselves, and do, you know, I'm even wearing pink because if you can see, I'm wearing like a little pink shirt underneath this because I need that affirmation of being in my heart. And yes, I got the red nails, that's probably going to stay, but the touches of pink, the touches of gentleness, you know, wearing fragrances, oil-based fragrances rather than the alcohol-based perfumes, will do wonders for you because it allows for your pheromones to come through, your natural scent based on what you're feeling, to be alchemized on a daily basis. It's magic. It's pure magic. So Ma'at says, in order for you to be truly free, everyone must be free. Ooh, she offers you the alignment task, and this came through an Aries reading. If you want abundance for yourself, you have to see it for others. You can't just see it for you and hoard it all away, Libra. We have to see it for others. We have to speak that love and light for others, you know, instead of affirming someone's gone crazy. Someone is being driven into their heart. Someone's going into their hearts and maybe mining, and they have to get that distillation process and sift through that fine mesh sieve and get out the gold and let the rest be transmuted with the violet flame, perhaps. Ma'at offers the alignment task of considering where you may have hurt someone else and how your unconscious projection of how the world should be may have set you up for a transgression, even if you were innocent. Whew, needed to hear that. I did. This is a time of great unraveling, and nothing meaningful will be accomplished without some effort of this transmuting where we belong versus where we do not belong anymore. Another message for you now is to see behind the words of others, especially when you feel they may be withholding truth or acting without awareness. It's important not to enable this. Tell the truth with as much love as you can, even though denial may be swept away in an awkward moment and everyone feels exposed. It's an important way to move forward with compassion and that intention to sustain compassion. See one of these cherries in my painting up here. The goddess Ma'at reminds you that she is a champion for those willing to course correct and gives you her full support. That is so awesome. Okay, thank you, Ma'at. Goddess Ma'at. And we have the Two of Wands from Aries reading. Not for you guys, but could be something important, could be relevant, that you are joining ideas with another person. And, you know, all relationships require an investment of that compassion and that heartfelt speech, because when we speak from the mind, that's when we project that ego, that unconscious behavior, and we want to come into full consciousness to continue to ascend and to continue to be able to manifest the life of our dreams, because we are worthy. We just have to be able to sustain those creations with heart-centered coherence. Important, valuable reminders. It's like taking my vitamins, giving these readings. Okay. Ace of Swords. We don't want to cut ourselves. You see how the hand is grasping at the sword. Whoa. There's a crowning achievement but we can't let it come at the cost of our well-being. And I sense that deciding what's best for us is also deciding that what is best for us is what's best for everyone. So there might be something that arises where you have to transmute feeling like, you know, things didn't turn out like you wanted. And maybe you had some goals, you had some that held notion of how life should be, and we get to receive what is. And I think that that's the biggest switch up of this week as we move into the second decan of the Sun in Scorpio. So the Sun starts out at 11 degrees Scorpio, helping us to figure out that balance of what's an integrity for me in the outer world, in my direct communications. And then on the 10th, the Sun is at 18 degrees Scorpio, netting to a 9, with Mars having moved into our social network of Leo, our 11th house. We have the 7 of Cups. So Neptune is giving influence, and there's also Neptune retrogrades to 12 degrees by the end of the week. Starting out on the 3rd at 12 degrees and 49 seconds. Saturn retrogrades to 12 degrees and 43 seconds. So that 6 seconds change, and the moon moving into Pisces is just indicating that we have more learning to do, more curiosity to uncover. And maybe that's what this 7th cup is, because in between the 5 and the 8 of water, we now have the 7 from the Salvador Dali deck. So it's saying 5, maybe some things needed to change, and we held on to something of how life should be for a little bit too long. Those resentments that we held on to, that ego-centered communication where we weren't really getting to the heart of the matter, we were resisting it because it was easier to ping pong, to like, you know, go off on people, or to feel like you were victimized. And this 8 of water is saying by the end of the week we do transmute any sort of delusion, just, you know, that we're not worthy, or that people don't get us, or that no one ever will, or this energy of potentially shame and being perceived as, you know, the one who did it all, you know, the Black Moon Lilith, the Lilith figure, which she was before the card Ma'at. Lilith wants us to be empowered. Lilith wants us to claim our truth, and she wants us to stand tall in our authenticity and just trust, you know, that even if it feels like no one's watching, people are watching and they're inspired. Okay, this card that fell, let's check it out. The moon. Voila, the moon, yes, will be in Pisces by the end of the week. And at the start of the week, we have the moon in Sagittarius at 0 degrees, trining Mercury at 0 degrees Sagittarius. So that's our 3rd house of communication, and it's just saying that we have this energy of potentially slingshotting into the exact place that we would like to be if we're clear on how we feel. And morning pages, journaling, walking meditation, physically moving the body forward will help if you feel like you're in a rut, if you feel like you've been sidelined or stuck, or you're behind. You're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be. And it's important that you just affirm positive affirmations for yourself. If you have toxic thinking patterns, it just takes a couple podcasts, it takes a couple self-help books that you can listen to on audiobook. One of my favorite one is the Rick Rubin's The Creative Act. It's such a meditation. And The Artist's Way, of course. I just, you know, the writing is a little LA for me, but nothing wrong with that. So Libra, take the time to look at where Sagittarius is in your chart. Maybe watch their reading to get a more comprehensive view of this energy. I would also advise you look at where Leo is in your chart, because Mars is moving there. And in December, we will have a Mars retrograde. So we will have that slingshot effect to get propelled right where we want to be with our social standing, with our social groups, our network. Maybe we'll have patrons come in and help us to support some of these moves forward that we would like to make in our lives. Thank you so much, Libra, for checking out this message. And until next time, all of my aloha.